The movie begins with a novelist who has come to Montreal to interview P. Patel, a middle-aged Indian man originally from Pondicherry. Living a quiet life in Canada, Pai shares his extraordinary life story with the writer. His father, Santosh Patel, a zookeeper, named him Piscine Molitor after a famous swimming pool in France. But as a child, P changed his name to P to escape the cruel teasing of his classmates, who mocked his original name by calling him Pissing Patel. Through a series of flashbacks, P recalls his childhood in Pondicherry, where his family owned a zoo. Pi was fascinated by the animals, especially a Bengal tiger named Richard Parker. When Pi tries to feed the tiger out of curiosity, his father intervenes and sternly warns him that Richard Parker is not a pet. To make his point, his father forces Pi to witness the tiger savagely kill a goat. This experience instills in P both a deep respect and fear for the tiger. Raised in a Hindu household, Pi was deeply spiritual from a young age. However, his spiritual journey expands when, at the age of 12, he discovers Christianity and Islam. Rather than choosing one religion, P embraces all three, explaining to his mother that he just wants to love God in all forms. While his mother supports his spiritual exploration, his father, a rationalist, encourages him to think logically and not be swayed by faith alone. As a teenager, Pi meets a girl named Anandi, who is a passionate dancer, and the two quickly fall in love. However, their budding romance is interrupted when Pi's father decides to sell the zoo and move the family to Canada. The economic situation in Pondicherry is deteriorating, and he believes the animals would fetch a better price overseas, providing the family with the means to start anew in Winnipeg, Manitoba. The family embarks on a journey to Canada aboard a Japanese freighter named Zimtsum, along with the zoo animals. During the voyage, a violent storm hits, causing the ship to sink. As Pi tries to find his family amidst the chaos, a crew member forces him into a lifeboat. Pi watches in horror as the ship, along with his family, disappears beneath the waves. After the storm subsides, Pi finds himself adrift in the lifeboat, accompanied by an injured zebra. Soon, an orangutan and a hyena join them. The hyena quickly reveals its vicious nature, killing the zebra and then the orangutan. Despite the orangutan's brave attempt to protect Pi, it too falls victim to the hyena's brutality. Just when it seems P might be next, Richard Parker emerges from beneath the lifeboat's tarp and kills the hyena. Alone with the tiger, Pi is terrified for his life. He manages to create a small raft from the boat's supplies to keep a safe distance from Richard Parker. Using the lifeboat's provisions, Pi begins to fish and collect rainwater, ensuring both his and the tiger's survival. Although initially tempted to let Richard Parker drown when the tiger jumps into the sea to catch fish, Pi ultimately helps him back onto the boat, realizing that caring for the tiger gives him a sense of purpose and keeps him alive. As the days turn into weeks, Pi trains Richard Parker to tolerate his presence on the boat. The two establish an uneasy coexistence, with P understanding that his survival is tied to the tiger's survival. One night, a whale breaches near the lifeboat, causing P to lose most of his supplies, further intensifying the struggle for survival. After many weeks at sea, P and Richard Parker reach a strange floating island made entirely of edible plants, populated by a vast number of meerkats and filled with freshwater pools. Pi and the tiger regain their strength by eating and drinking from the island's resources. However, Pi soon discovers that the island harbors a dark secret. At night, the fresh water turns acidic, killing the fish in the pools, and the plants themselves are carnivorous. Pi even finds a human tooth embedded in a plant, realizing that the island consumes anything that stays too long. Determined to survive, Pi and Richard Parker leave the island the next day. Eventually, the lifeboat drifts to the coast of Mexico. Exhausted and on the brink of death, Pi collapses on the beach. Richard Parker, without looking back, walks into the jungle and disappears, leaving Pi heartbroken that the tiger did not acknowledge their journey together. Pi is rescued by locals and taken to a hospital where he weeps for the loss of his family and the bond he formed with the tiger. In the hospital, Pi is visited by insurance agents from the Japanese freighter company. They are skeptical of his story and demand a more believable account of what happened. In response, Pi offers an alternative version of events, where the lifeboat was occupied by his mother, a Buddhist sailor with a broken leg, and the ship's cook. According to this story, the cook kills the sailor to use him as bait, and later kills Pi's mother in a struggle. The novelist reflects on the parallels between the two versions. When Pi asks the novelist which story he prefers, the novelist chooses the version with the tiger, stating that it is the better story. Pi responds with a serene smile, saying, "Thank you." And so, it goes with God. The novelist later notices that the official insurance report states that Pi survived 227 days at sea with a tiger, indicating that even the insurance agents preferred the more fantastical story. The film closes with this thought-provoking conclusion, leaving the audience to ponder the nature of truth and the stories we choose to believe. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Au revoir.